Welcome to Nice and Blunt. I'm Adam Riancho, and it's Monday. Time to look ahead at Week 10 schedule, make some win-loss picks for every game in the NFL. Before we do that, we're going to look at last week's picks and own up to our mistakes, tell you where I was right and where I was wrong. The 4 games I got wrong were the Texans and the Jets. I took Houston. I thought they were by far the better team, and without Stephon Diggs, their offense just never really got going. Even though they won at halftime, they got really outplayed in the second half. Garrett Wilson did shine, and they had no answers. So they lost. That one was wrong. I also took the Patriots to win, and while they did force overtime, Drake May did not have the answers. They did lose by a field goal in overtime. 3-point loss. I can accept that, given it was overtime. The Saints also lost. I picked them to win, and the Panthers did tough it out. A 1-point win for Bryce Young, but Chris Olave gets carted off the field. I think if he was healthy, that game would not have been as close. So I was wrong there. And then the fourth game I was wrong about was the Bears losing to the Arizona Cardinals. I am now losing faith in Chicago. They're just not the team I expected they were entering the year. I thought they could make the playoffs. At 4-4, there's still a chance, but this was a critical game, and it just won't happen for Chicago. So I'm done believing in them. Maybe they can beat the Patriots this week, but with 6 games in division left on the slate, not going to happen. Chicago, not quite ready. It's time for Eberflus to move on. So I think the Bears will look to next season, kind of a blown year, rookie year for Caleb Williams, did not live up to expectations. This is probably the end of the road. The games I did get correct, though, I went 10-4, were the Falcons over the Cowboys. Falcons did get the win, even though Dak got hurt. They did win by almost a touchdown. The Bills won over Miami. It was not as big of a win as I expected, a lot closer, but by a field goal, it does count. The Bills continue to own the Dolphins. In division, they dominate this matchup. The Bengals dominated the Raiders 41-24, but against a bad team against Las Vegas, what does it really mean? Not sure I have faith in Cincinnati long term. The Chargers did beat the Browns 27-10. Jameis Winston did throw some interceptions. He's a backup for a reason. The Commanders did beat the Giants. It was only a 5-point game, but still they did win, and it was a little bit more comfortable than the scoreboard would suggest. Most of the Giants' points came in the fourth quarter. The Ravens beat the Broncos 41-10. That game was not close. An impressive touchdown catch by Bo Nix, but not much else. The Eagles did beat Jacksonville, and this game was a lot less close than the scoreboard would suggest as well. It was 16-0 at halftime, final score 28-23. Jags did fight back a little bit, but not enough from Jacksonville. The Lions did beat Green Bay, 10-point win in the rain on the road. Very, very good win from Detroit. I think Jordan Love's groin injury was a factor, but still they did not look ready against Detroit, arguably the best team in the NFL. At worst, top 2. The Rams over the Seahawks was the right call. Rams needed overtime for it to happen, but they did have Puka Nacua ejected in this game. That was a factor. They did get the win. And in division, that is huge. They now have the tiebreaker over the Seahawks and the Niners, but not Arizona at this point. The Rams are second in the division. The Colts did lose. They held the Minnesota Vikings to 0 in the first half, but 21 on the game and only 13 points on offense. Joe Flacco did not show up as I thought. So bad loss for the Colts. Tough game. The Vikings get up to 6 wins on the year. Last game of the week, though, was the Bucs and the Chiefs, and as of this recording, it has not happened yet. I did take the Chiefs. We'll see what happens. If I'm right, I'll go 11-4 this week, and that's a decent record. Last week was not as good. So 11-4, I will happily take that, but you guys were better than I was. You agree with me on the Chiefs tonight. So no matter what, you guys will pick up a game on yours truly. You only had 3 incorrect so far, and there were 3 games I got wrong as well. The Jets won. You guys took the Texans. The Titans won in overtime. You took the Patriots. And then the Panthers won by a point. You guys took the Saints. So we were wrong about those 3, but you guys did take the Cardinals. I took the Bears. And that was the closest margin so far this week in the polls. You guys did pick correctly. You were on the right side with Arizona. So on the season, that brings your overall record to 91-46, 11-3 is a nice call. So good job, you guys. On the year, you're 8 games ahead, and it's going to be tough for me to crawl back, but it's only halfway through the year. It's not over. The fat lady has not sung, and I still have a chance. But overall, I do have 5% less accuracy than you guys. Your guys' win percentage is about 66% this year. Mine is just under 61. So you guys are definitely more accurate this season. If you want help picking your own win-loss calls, I recommend looking at the polls more often than this video. They have been more accurate, but I will try my best this week as always. And against the spread, I did go 500 as well. I am hovering below 500 still. The 3 games I got wrong were the Jets winning. I thought they could do it, but they lost by 8. They were 1-point underdogs. I was also wrong about the Cowboys. Thought they could cover the spread, only lose by 3. They lost by 5, and that one was incorrect. The Bills did not win by a touchdown. They only won by a field goal, and I was too confident in Buffalo, but I was right about the Rams. In overtime, they did win by 6, so that one worked out. The Commanders did win by 5. They were favored by 3, so that was the right call. And then the Patriots forced overtime, lost by 3 points. It is technically a push, but given my record, I'm doing myself a solid, and I'm giving this as a accurate prediction. Go ahead and criticize me if you want, but I need it. I really need it, and it's my channel. I can do what I want. I will count the push as correct. Given they were underdogs and it also went into overtime, that is enough to sway me to keep it as an accurate pick. So 21-25 and 1 is my record this season. I am still 4 games back of 500. We'll see what happens this week. But now let's get into the picks this week. Here's the Week 10 schedule. And on Thursday night, we have a game between the Bengals and the Ravens in Baltimore. Last time, this game went into overtime and Evan McPherson missed the game-winning field goal. The Ravens did win it in overtime after they got the ball back. So took a lot of lucky breaks for Baltimore to win. The Bengals should have won that first time, and I think losing it may cost them their season because I just don't see them winning on the road at Baltimore. Too difficult without T. Higgins. That is huge. T. Higgins did not practice in the walkthrough on Monday. He's missed the last 2 games with a quad injury, and he has scored 4 touchdowns in his last 2 games against Baltimore. He plays very well against the Ravens. Their secondary is also the weakness of the team, and without T. Higgins, it will not be as well exploited by Joe Burrow. So just don't trust the Bengals offense as much. Zach Moss also out with a neck injury. Chase Brown really needs to step up, and he had so many touches last week against Las Vegas. On Thursday, I think he could be kind of tired, not play his best. So I'm going to go with Baltimore. I just think their offense is too good to stop, and it's just going to be too much of an avalanche of points. The Ravens will win. The Bengals will not be able to keep up. So their defense has no answers. Give me the Ravens to win, probably like 30-24. The Panthers travel to Munich to host the Giants, and this Germany game, anything can happen. It's truly a punishment for World War II, if you ask me. This is definitely not a reward. Bryce Young versus Daniel Jones, one of the grossest matchups of the year. But there is some momentum in favor of Carolina at the moment. They got the win over the Saints last week. It was just a point, but still, a win is a win. And then they also get rookie Jonathan Brooks on the field for the first time in his career. He's making his debut in this Germany game. His practice window will be closing this week, and he will be activated off IR. It is guaranteed to happen Week 10 against the Giants. So that's going to help them out a lot alongside Chuba Hubbard. That is a dynamic backfield. If he's fully healthy, I'd be a bit worried if I was the Giants defense. So that's a huge boost for Carolina. And it's also possible that Adam Thielen will be healthy enough too. I doubt Thielen plays, but Jonathan Brooks will suit up, and that's why I'm going to go with Carolina. I don't understand the line. The Giants are 5-point favorites according to Vegas last I checked. So I just don't get it, and I'm going to go with the underdog here in a neutral environment. I will take Carolina. 2 terrible teams, but I think if one quarterback gets benched, it's more likely Daniel Jones. I say that understanding that Andy Dalton could be declared the starter. It's a toss-up at the moment, not quite decided on Monday who will start this game for Carolina. But I think it'll be Bryce Young. I think he'll finish it, and I don't think Daniel Jones will be the starter coming back after the bye after this Germany game. We've seen London coaches get fired after a loss. I think the Germany game quarterback that loses will lose his job. I think it'll be Daniel Jones. Give me the Panthers over the Giants in Germany to get the win. I will trust Jonathan Brooks is the difference, but I could envision Tyrone Tracy lighting up the Panthers. The run defense for Carolina is really bad. So kind of a toss-up. I'm going to take the underdog. Give me Carolina over New York. The Chicago Bears host the Patriots in Chicago, and this is probably the last time I will pick the Bears to win this year. They still have 6 division games. I don't see them as the favorites in any of them. And then they also have a game against the Niners and the Seahawks remaining on their schedule. This is the last chance for them to get an easy win. So the Eberflus record is far better at home than it is on the road, and it's not even 500. The Bears do step up. Their defense plays a lot better in Chicago than on the road. And after 2 bad L's, I don't think it's 3 in a row against Drake May. Give me Caleb Williams to get the win. Their offense should step up. Rome Odunze has started to look okay since the bye week. So I'm going to take the Bears. If they lose this one, I think Eberflus deserves to get fired. But at this point, you know for a fact he will not be retained next year. The Bears are not a playoff team, but they will win in week 10. A cheap victory, probably their last of the season. Give me Chicago over the Patriots. The Bills travel to Indianapolis to face the Colts, and I'm tempted to call upset here because the Bills could easily look ahead to week 11. They get the Chiefs after this game, then a bye. So this chapter of their season is almost over, and it's really highlighted by that Chiefs game. It's possible the Bills overlook their opponent and don't show up, but I think they get the win here. The Bills are definitely the better team, and Flacco didn't impress me against Minnesota. While the Bills' run defense is pretty bad, Jonathan Taylor can play very well here. I wouldn't be shocked if he does lead them to victory. I think Josh Allen is just too much to handle. I think he will play well, and if Amari Cooper gets back on the field, then the Bills should roll. So going to take them. I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills over Indianapolis, but this game will be close. I think the Colts will make it very entertaining, and they could win, but I'm going to stick with Buffalo. Important that they win this game and don't lose 2 in a row, because they probably lose to Kansas City the week after. So I'll take Buffalo, but it wouldn't shock me if they overlook the Colts. The Chiefs host Denver, and they lost to Russell Wilson last year, but I don't think they lose to Bo Nix in his rookie season. I do not think Bo gets any wins over Mahomes. So give me the Chiefs at home. It should be easy. I will take Kansas City over Denver, one of the easiest locks on the week. The Falcons travel to New Orleans to face the Saints, and with no Chris Olave, I do not trust the Saints. The Falcons can let Taysom Hill score 2 touchdowns, go over 80 rushing yards, and still probably win this game as long as they limit Alvin Kamara. So that's all they need to do. I think they will, and I will go with Atlanta. I think they are the better team, and they will lock up this division. If they beat New Orleans, it will be guaranteed. They have all the tiebreakers over the Bucs, and that's really the only threat. So the Falcons, if they get another win in division, will be the guaranteed winners and will host a playoff game. They will win the NFC South, more likely than not. This game probably seals it. Give me Atlanta over New Orleans. The Bucs host the Niners, and San Francisco's coming off a loss, and Christian McCaffrey is already back on the practice field, so he might suit up in this game. They're optimistic for it, and if he is available, then the Niners will cruise to victory. Even without him, I think Jordan Mason can help them get the win. So I'm going to take San Francisco. I don't expect Mike Evans on the field, and without him, it's just not enough. They probably need Chris Godwin to make this game close as well. So I just don't trust Baker. Maybe they shock the Chiefs tonight and do get the win, but I think they'll lose their 3rd in a row. I'm going to go with San Francisco because it's a tight race in their division, and this game is pretty important. Give me the Niners to win with McCaffrey back on the field. San Fran is the better team. In Washington, the Steelers travel to face off against the Commanders, and Pittsburgh is off a bye, and it's a coach of the year battle between Mike Tomlin and Dan Quinn. Love what Dan Quinn has done with that defense, but against the Pittsburgh defense, I think TJ Watt will clearly look like the best player and give Jaden Daniels some problems. I don't trust the Commanders defense to do that to Russell Wilson. So it's going to be close, and I also think Washington will be looking ahead. Their next game is on Thursday night against the Eagles. That is a far more important game in division than a cross-conference battle against a team coming off a bye in Pittsburgh. So I think they lose on Sunday, but win on Thursday. I think the Commanders will lose this game, and Pittsburgh keeps rolling. They have a shot to win the division and beat the Ravens for that title. So this is an important game. They will win. I trust Mike Tomlin's coaching. Off the bye, he gets the dub here. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers over the Commanders. In Jacksonville, the Vikings travel to face off against Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars, and I do not trust the Jags at all. I'm definitely taking Minnesota. Their defense is far better, and Brian Thomas Jr., not 100%. He did not look too good last week against the Eagles, so I don't think he'll look amazing against Brian Flores' defense. He's probably a little more healthy, but still not enough to get the dub. With no Christian Kirk, the Jags offense will struggle. Give me Minnesota comfortably over Jacksonville. The Chargers, probably the second easiest lock of the week. Other than the Chiefs over Denver, I think the Chargers over Tennessee is guaranteed. Definitely give me my Chargers to win. One of the few games this year where they actually have a legit home field advantage. The Chargers will beat the Titans. In Dallas, the Cowboys are attempting upset call here. They have won 5 in a row over Philly in Dallas, but with no Dak Prescott, I can't say I trust Cooper Rush. He did go 4-1 a few years ago when filling in for Dak, but that one loss was also against Philly. And with Saquon never having beaten Dallas, I think he finally gets his first win, and it's just too much to handle. The Eagles will beat Dallas with CeeDee Lamb banged up and Cooper Rush at quarterback. It's just not enough. They need Micah Parsons and Deron Bland to get healthy, and neither of those things are guaranteed. Even if they do, without a defensive touchdown, I just don't see it for the Cowboys. So I'm going to take the Eagles. I think they will win. Probably a close game in division means a lot to Dallas, but I think the Eagles are the better team. Give me Philly to win on the road. In Arizona, I am probably making the wrong decision betting against the Cardinals for the 4th time in a row. The last 3 weeks, I have picked Arizona to lose, and they have won. But it's been 3 years since they won back-to-back games. The last time it happened was Week 7, 2021. They were 7-0. That was the year the Rams won the Super Bowl. They made the playoffs that year, but I'm not convinced it happens this season. And since that happened, they finally have won multiple games in a row. It's now 3 straight for Arizona. Do you really believe it's going to be 4 in a row? Maybe against the Jets, it is the right bet, but I just don't believe in them. I'm going to pick against them one more time. I saw enough from the Jets offense to reel me back in, and this is probably the worst bet I'm making so far this season. The last month, every time I pick the Jets, whether it's to win or lose, I am wrong, and the last 3 weeks it has applied as well to Arizona. So you should probably go with the Cardinals, but I, against my better judgment, am going to go with the Jets. I think they make their season a little more interesting, get back in the win column, and I'm going with the Jets. I still think their talent on offense is better than the Cardinals, and the Cardinals defense still is not one I trust. So I'm going to take the Jets. I know it sounds stupid, but give me New York over Arizona. Even though this game is in Arizona, I think the road team off a mini bye will win. Give me the Jets. And I'm probably wrong. I already feel it. Give me New York over Arizona. The Texans on Sunday night host Detroit, and Nico Collins coming back is a major factor for them, a huge boost to their offense. But without Stephon Diggs, I just don't think it's enough. Give me the Lions, who look like the best team in the NFL. I think they keep rolling. Weather's not a factor. Their offense, just too many weapons to stop. Jahmyr Gibbs going to go off. I'll take Detroit. Over Houston, I don't see the Texans making the Super Bowl. I don't see anyone beating Detroit in the Super Bowl other than maybe Kansas City. And at this point, I'm starting to lean in favor of Detroit, even in that matchup in my mind. So give me Detroit here. I definitely expect them to win on Sunday night. Last game of the week on Monday would be the Rams hosting Miami, and also kind of like the Chargers game, a rare occurrence where the Rams actually have home field advantage. I don't expect that many Dolphins fans in LA on Monday night. So that's going to help them. Puka Nacua not getting ejected will help them even more. And Kyron Williams will dominate that bad Miami Dolphins run defense. Give me the Rams to keep rolling. Another important win for them. They're 4th in a row. There's 4 teams on bye: the Browns, the Packers, the Raiders, and the Seahawks. But the other 14 games, here is what I'm expecting. I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens on Thursday night to beat the Bengals at home. In Munich, give me the Panthers to beat the Giants. In Germany, I'm going with Carolina. In Chicago, I think the Bears get their last good win of the season. They will beat the Patriots in Chicago. In Indianapolis, a close game where the Bills maybe sleep on their opponent, but still tough it out. I'll take the Bills on the road over the Colts. In Kansas City, a very easy win in division for the Chiefs over the rookie quarterback and Denver. The Falcons win on the road. Too many injuries for the Saints. Even at home, the Saints will lose. In Tampa, the Bucs lose to San Francisco. If McCaffrey is back, it's going to be tough to beat the Niners. The Commanders lose at home. Steelers off a bye get the win. The Commanders care more about winning on Thursday than Sunday. The Jaguars lose to the Minnesota Vikings at home. It doesn't matter. The Vikings will get the dub. The Chargers win comfortably over the Titans. The Titans don't have a chance. Chargers win. And then the Cowboys, with no Dak Prescott, will not beat the Eagles. Saquon will finally beat Dallas. In Arizona, the Cardinals will lose to the Jets, and probably my worst pick of the week. The Texans lose to Detroit. Their offense cannot be stopped. The Lions in primetime will put on a show on the road. And then the Rams at home beat Miami. The home field advantage does help them. Puka and Kyron have a great game. Those are my win-loss picks this week. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. But I also give you 5 picks against the spread. I am going with 6 on Monday. On Saturday, I'm going to update them. I'm probably going to take one of these picks out, depending on how the lines shift with these 6 teams. But I am taking the Broncos to cover 9.5 points in division. Reminds me a lot of the Browns getting 10 points against the Ravens a couple weeks ago, and I do think the Broncos will cover in division. They will not lose by more than 10 points. So give me the Broncos. I think they will cover, but not win. The Chiefs rarely score more than 30 points. They didn't even cover 10 points against the Raiders. They're not going to cover 10 points against Denver. The Bengals, I think, will cover 6 points against the Ravens. Last time they played, it went into overtime. If T. Higgins doesn't play, I might remove it. But for now, give me the 6-point underdogs, the Bengals, to cover the spread. The Giants, I don't understand why they're favored by 5 points, so definitely give me the Panthers +5. I picked them to win straight up. If they're getting 5 points, 100%, give me Carolina. I think off a bye, the Steelers are definitely going to beat the Commanders, and they're currently underdogs by 2.5 points. I do think they win straight up. Give me the Steelers +2.5. The Vikings, I think, are going to win by a touchdown, if not more. Vikings -4 is a very obvious bet, and I wouldn't be shocked if that goes over 7 points before the weekend is upon us. Give me the Vikings -4, definitely the best line you can find in that game. Lastly, I'll take the Chargers -8. I might remove this, but I do think the Chargers can win by well over 10, just like last week against the Browns. They will dominate a bad team like the Titans. So Chargers -8, a big number, but I do think they cover. I will take the favorite. Give me the Broncos +9.5, the Bengals +6, the Panthers +5, the Steelers +2.5, the Vikings -4, and the Chargers -8. Those are my picks against the spread, and that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. That's going to be it for me. My name is Adam Riancho, and thank you for watching. Nice and blunt.